getting in with this family, I think Meghan's realizing that power comes from social media. It's celebrity. And it's all that stuff that she kind of was saying she didn't want and was getting rid of.
And she doesn't feel that she's finished that trajectory of fame. She wants to get to this level because that's where she feels she belongs.
I think it's the money. I think she wants to be a billion-dollar business.
Right.
And show the royal family that she doesn't need it. She could be rich and powerful without the royal family.
Hello and welcome to this True Royalty original programme with me, Laurence Llewelyn-Bowen. On this show, we're exploring the burgeoning friendship between Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and Kim Kardashian. And we're going to be asking, is Meghan the new Kim? Joining me in the studio for expert analysis is star of Hayu's The Real Housewives of London, Juliet Angus, and brand and culture expert Nick Ede. Great to have you both with us today.
Thank you.
Now, we've had this incredible moment, haven't we? Meghan has been spotted at a Kardashian event. What was going on there, Nick?
Well, she was at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. It was a 00770 theme. It was hosted...
I didn't get that. That's clever.
That's what it was.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it was hosted by Jeff Bezos and Laurence Llewelyn in their house. It was a fantastic party, and everybody was there, from Oprah Winfrey, Mariah Carey, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, and then two of our friends were there as well. Meghan and Harry turned
I thought you
up.
were going to say Juliet.
Well, Juliet and I weren't invited.
Well, you not
why.
I find that very, very difficult to believe. But Juliet, I mean, the interesting thing there was that, yes, they were there. They weren't necessarily up at the front of the, you know, the kind of the puff pieces, were they, though? They weren't, you know, we all start with Beyonce and we work through Oprah and go, da, 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 and then round about here we get Meghan and Harry. And then it turns out that they were removed from the carousel of pictures that the Kardashians themselves sent out. What was going on?
Well, that's the thing. They're not, you know, Hollywood A-listers elite, sort of in the Hollywood, right?
Totally.
Group. So, yeah, they do come behind the Beyoncés and the Justin Biebers, and those are the Hollywood people. And they've stepped away and living this Montecito life, you know, of quiet living. And now they want to be with the celebrities and Hollywood. I think they went to kind of show that they, you know, can be in those rooms and, you know, with the Netflix deals and all that. But I don't think they wanted the press from it, because I think that's what they wanted to be there, have their relationships and their connections, but not be involved in the press story of it.
And this is interesting, though, isn't it? Because this is something that seems to be happening quite a lot over the last couple of years, is that, you know, there's a decision made about wanting to do something, but then there's a kind of a bit of a retraction before it really, you know, before the end, before it really delivers.
Yeah, it seems to happen. And what happened really was that they were at another event before called Baby to Baby. And so Paris Hilton was at that one too, so was Meghan Trainor. And they all then came to Kris Jenner's party afterwards. And it felt like they were a little bit of a gatecrasher. I don't think Paris Hilton would ever be a gatecrasher because Kathy Hilton's her mum's best friend. But it felt like Meghan and Harry had kind of gone, and it felt like they didn't really want to be associated particularly with that Hollywood elite in that respect, because it felt that it was kind of damaging their own brand. So it all felt a little bit strange.
Let's park that for a moment, because I think this is one of the fascinating things that's running through this. And I think something that we don't really necessarily get a handle on over here in the UK is quite what these people mean and what these brands mean as well. But Julia, I mean, how do they know each other? How did Meghan get pally with Kim? Or has she?
I wasn't really quite sure of this friendship. So I was really unaware that they were friends. I think what's interesting, though, is going back is that Meghan showing up at this party, and she's jumping around to all these places, you know, and don't we remember her saying she wanted to live a quiet life not too long ago? It doesn't seem like these choices are made for a quiet life.
No, it's for exposure. It's to further herself.
That's the thing I'm realizing, is with this Kardashian and this friendship and the support and getting in with this family, I think Meghan's realizing that power comes from social media, and so these people have the biggest social media followings in the world. It's that fame, that star quality. It kind of is social media numbers, it's power, it's celebrity, and it's all that stuff that she kind of was saying she didn't want and was getting rid of. And yet she's welcoming it all back in now.
It's very bad because, of course, the big thing here as well, the one you've missed out is money, which is, arguably where all the power comes from anyway. And the Kardashians have done the most extraordinary job over the last sort of 10, 15 years at accruing an immense amount of money from... What? From, where has that come from? It's not like they're not making anything. They don't, produce anything.
Well, it's come from Kris Jenner. She is this sort of mastermind Svengali when it comes to monetizing her children. She did it very, very early when they had their reality show. The reality show is still on 20 more or so years later. And what they've done really well is they categorize each of them and given them almost this little silo where they can make money, whether that's fashion brands, whether that's makeup with Kylie, whether that is Kendall being a fabulous spokesperson, but also a supermodel as well. But also the thing is, that to your point about the social media thing, you've got someone like Meghan who's back on social media, but like you said, she's still a bit like this because she doesn't have her comments on there. So the Kardashians have their comments. You can say whatever you like. You might hate them, you might love them. They might even reply to it. Meghan is very, very clever, or also very scared and calculated and doesn't have her comments on there, which I think is very interesting.
So do you think that she's actually, that's what she's very interested in? It's not, she doesn't necessarily want to be busy with Kim at all. What she wants is to understand how Kim has got to be Kim.
I think that's what it is. I think it's now she has, the fame. Everyone knows who she is. I think it's the money. I think she wants to be $1 billion business.
Right.
And show the royal family that she doesn't need it and that, that she could be rich and powerful without the royal family. It is this major
So you think there's
definition.
a little bit of revenge going on there?
Totally.
Little bit of kind of Bond villain,
100,
oh my God, I can do this without you.
100%. I think I think by the moves that Meghan's making right now, she's trying to tell the royal family and the world, I didn't need you and I don't need you. And we're going to do this our way, and I'm going to be rich and powerful in my own right.
So just rewind a little bit, because I mean, the business behind Kim Kardashian particularly is absolutely extraordinary. Is this Kim herself driving it, or does she have good people?
Well, Momager Chris is really good at building these brands, and so is Emma Grady, who is the kind of other manager to the success stories. She has multiple Kardashian brands. Good American with Khloe Kardashian.
She's got Skims
with and then KHY with
Kylie,
which is blowing up, which is like a sweatsuits kind of brand. And then also does Chris's.
That's right. It's a eco spray, home spray brand,
which is
huge.
With Chrissy Teigen too. So Emma Grady is building these brands and helped Kim and Khloe build their huge businesses. And I think Meghan she's had a few failures, right? I mean, everything's not going so great. Podcast, Netflix, The Jam, I don't know, The Honey, I don't know what she's been throwing things, the TV show, I don't know, people watched it, was it
I love
good?
the way you say Jane, because I originally thought of the pop group, but anyway, now I'm with you, the confiture. But I mean, obviously, this is so much your wheelhouse, Nick. This is absolutely what you do. What's this Emma Grady person then getting right for Kim?
Well, she's actually looking at Kim and thinking about what Kim's brand is. And we talked about this off camera when we said it's actually about Kim's body shape.
Yeah.
And she's playing on that and using that in the best way possible. And she's going, this is how I look. If you want to emulate it, you can look like, you can wear this product. If you don't feel that you emulate this, I still want to be inclusive and think about everybody. And that's what's so good about what Emma Grady has done. She's literally taken the essence of Kim Kardashian and made it into a really strong brand that's credible. And it's really interesting. I saw on your phone, you've got The Road, which is Hailey Bieber's amazing brand. And if you're going to get a brand right, you stick with it, you have truth and you have authenticity. And that's what Kim has now with Skims, and that's what Hailey Bieber has with her brand. And Hailey Bieber's brand is worth $1 billion. That's what Meghan desperate for. The Deal or No Deal girl won't have to open that bag anymore if she can do this right.
Yeah.
And Emma Grady might be able to help her do it.
See, that's the thing. I think she wants to be, that Martha Stewart $1 billion business with maybe a cooking range with her spices, with like all the home stuff. But then she's throwing herself into Hollywood again. And does she want to be acting again? Does she want to be in fashion?
I mean, by the sound of it, you know, for what you're both saying, though, is that actually it's interesting that she's defining her brand by other people and existing brands rather than defining her brand by just being Meghan, by just getting on and being Meghan. Because, I mean, what is she actually, what's she selling about herself at the moment?
When I first met Meghan, we were pretty good friends when she came to the UK, and she had the TIG. And the TIG was this website, a little bit like Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. It gave you top tips on things to get, the clothes that she used to wear, the makeup she wore on the red carpet as opposed to a date night look. And actually, it felt quite authentic. And it feels like she's trying to go back to that with As Ever. It's just not working because it's not landing right anymore.
That's so true. It's the authenticity. Who is she talking to? Who's her audience? And what are you selling? Because
she doesn't have jam. She doesn't have marmalade. She doesn't, you know what I mean? I don't care
Who
about...
does?
Who does? Well,
who does
Paddington Bear has marmalade.
No, it is very interesting because, again, and I think the spectre of Martha Stewart hangs over a lot of what she's doing. This idea of you know, lifestyle. I mean, and Martha Stewart invented that.
Yeah.
She very much invented that. She also created this concept of monetizing a high profile in a way of selling product and, you know, closing that circle. It meant she was on telly and then you could buy what she was doing. So she is very much the progenitrix of this. But, you know, it is extraordinary that actually what Meghan does seem to be doing is terribly derivative, don't you think, Juliet? I mean, have you ever seen anything you thought, wow, that's interesting, that's unusual, I'll give that a go?
Yeah, I think she is kind of flailing right now and doesn't really know her focus and what lane to stay in.
Totally.
I mean, and there's something about like having your options open, but I think if you've had all these strategy meetings and teams around you, and I believe she's lost her last publicist, has stepped away, and that's I think 10th in 5 years. So the support
that's a heavy habit.
Well,
2 a year.
But that's kind of what she's known for.
You expect it, yeah.
It's she uses you and discards you when you're not
needed.
You're not needed, or you're not telling her what she wants to hear.
Why
it's a one woman show in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the room with her, you've had to work with her, you are credited with bringing her to the United Kingdom in the first place. What
Lucky
is what is
Thank you, Nick.
No, come on, we will forgive you. But what is driving this woman to not, I mean, there's a real sense of not having the self-awareness to realise that you need other people, particularly when you're playing these games, when you're, dealing with these kind of stakes. You need all sorts of experts behind you. You need the right kind of backup, the right kind of support. If you're just not being told what you want to hear, that is going to become a problem, surely.
It's going to become a massive problem, and it has shown that it is a big problem. I think the issue is it's somebody who's very pig-headed, somebody who thinks they know exactly where they should be. And I think ambition is fantastic, but when you see it like that and you don't take on the respected people around you who are actually giving you really great advice, then you're always going to fall and fail, and actually that's what's happening with her. And I think with people leaving her, that's actually even worse than being fired in many ways, because it's like, actually, I've had enough of you. I'm a publicist, and I can't deal with publicly promoting and protecting you. That's a bad message.
But is there some kind of, optimistic future where someone like Emma Grede can, take brand Meghan, put it back on the rails, give her the real purpose? Can she find the authenticity inside Meghan?
Her hope.
That's the hope, but I don't think Emma Grede will take on someone like Meghan, to be honest. I think she has seen how it has played out. We've seen how actually she's so polarising that you can't project a brand in a great positive way, whereas all the positivity you might get, you get so much negativity too. And Emma will not want to be part of her. Yes, she'll have her on her podcast. Yes, she might do a little bit of an affiliate deal with her, but I don't think she'll invest her time, energy, and also ultimately her money to create a brand that could fail. She doesn't want to see that on TV.
It's interesting though as well, Julie, because this idea as well of the negativity. as you're saying, with Kim, she's out there and she doesn't really mind when people are slagging her off. She's got a kind of an implacable kind of ability to just sort of rise above it and sail across it. Is that one of the missing secret ingredients that basically Meghan needs to grow a much thicker skin if she's going to play with the big boys?
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think she.
But would she? Does she need to?
She couldn't deal with it.
You don't think she's good?
No, and that's the and you're so right about Emma Green not taking that on because that's a beast of its own.
It's a poison chalice in many ways.
And she doesn't have a great track record of success. It's actually, if you look at her life in the last 10 years, while she has 2 children and there's a lot of failures from like leaving the royal family and then, coming to California and launching all these brands. There's a lot of failures. So it's whatever this Meghan brand has been, it hasn't proven successful yet. So to invest in that for someone that has had a lot of success, it's more of a risk for them.
I'm going to just sort of rebrand slightly. I think failures is probably a bit harsh, but I think there's sort of a lack of kind of. Yeah, I know, right. I'm trying to be.
I know you're right.
But I mean, it's more to do with sort of not quite delivering, because there's definitely this huge furore. When it was announced that she was going to marry Prince Harry, there were a lot of people incredibly excited about the idea of a biracial senior role. That had never happened. That's incredibly exciting. That's really forward thinking. That's forward moving. This is someone who's got a
to have an American in the royal family living here.
That's what I mean.
Someone's going to make it acceptable.
Yes,
you all have to be nice to
all
me now because there's an American in the house. Yeah.
But it is like that. There was an enormous amount of kind of, oh my God, this is a real change moving forward. But then there's a point where that doesn't quite deliver. I mean, it didn't fail at all, but it didn't deliver. And then the move to California, then the Netflix. All of that's very exciting. We're going to lift the lid. We're going to see inside. We're going to know them terribly well. And again, that didn't deliver. Is this actually a problem of timing? Is there a kind of an innate impatience in Meghan which doesn't let her let these things run long enough? I mean, for instance, Kim Kardashian, she's been unbelievably patient over the last 20 years.
And Kim Kardashian has many, many failures. And she still sort of strived, and she had clothing brands that didn't go anywhere and other various different things. I think the thing about it, and Juliet, we talked about this before, is it's actually about greed and money. And in the royal family, there was, as you said, there wasn't enough money, but also the fact of the matter is, I look at when they left the royal family as like a celebrity coming out of the Big Brother house. They've got this moment when they can make as much money as possible because they're on the front page of every newspaper and they will do every single deal possible. And that's what she literally did. But unfortunately, she couldn't sustain those deals. And she's now chasing her tail with everything she's doing because she's like, I need to make the money to live this amazing life, to live in this way.
She has got a lot of money.
She does.
Let's face it. I mean, she's got a lot more than most of us.
Exactly.
And actually, I think this is one of there is the theory that we've heard on several times on the show, very very high level sources, that actually one of the big things was that the king gave them a really quite substantial amount of money to kind of keep them, in the state to which they'd become accustomed. And it is alleged that he was extremely surprised to hear that they were signing the Netflix deal, because as far as he was concerned, he was sort of protecting him and the rest of the royal family from that, but also giving them oh yes, for goodness sake, go and be quiet, be quiet. Where is this sort of, why does she feel that enough is never enough?
Well, that comes from fame and ambition. This is somebody who's come from California, who has been in the entertainment world for all her life. She was an actress. She was a jobbing actress. Then she got a really great part in Suits, which is still a bit of a cult show. And she doesn't feel that she's finished that trajectory of fame. She wants to get to this level because that's where she feels she belongs.
Well, she's from, let's remember, a middle class, working middle class family. Yeah. And there's no rags to riches here, is there? It's sort of,
well,
straightforward. There's ambition, but it's not,
But she keeps getting what she wants in a way. And so she keeps going, well...
Ooh, that's fascinating.
Very true,
it's like,
very true.
So what more? Why not
now
that?
Is fascinating.
Why can't I have what she has?
And because that obviously
And I think with the Kardashians and Lauren Sanchez and the power, the money, she goes... Why can't I have that?
But that is really interesting, because that would suggest that there's a kind of an insecurity in her, which makes her unable to recognise what she's achieved and how far she's got.
Right.
Which makes the whole thing actually quite sad, I think.
I think that this is all tinged with a bit of sadness, to be honest. We've seen how she reacts to her family and how she doesn't talk to her father anymore, who really gave and sacrificed a lot.
Or her father-in-law.
Or father-in-law, exactly, who walked her down the aisle. There's no respect there because they don't actually help her in any way now. I think what's really interesting as well, just thinking in my head, is if you look at the way she has with her 2 children, she doesn't have them on any kind of social media. Maybe we'll see them but pixelated. But that's a difference between her and a Kardashian. A Kardashian will have their kids there. They will celebrate their birthdays and show all the family together. And we feel authentically we're part of that world. And we want to buy into it. And I'm like, I want to know what True is doing or Dream is doing, whatever.
So I watched With Love from Meghan.
It's awful.
And I actually didn't mind it. Actually, no.
Come on, Nick. Say what you think, mate.
But again, it's not filmed in her house.
Exactly.
It's a studio,
Okay.
and that's nothing there. Not one pot, not one thing, one champagne glass. None of it is real. It's a stage, and it's a set, and it feels like everything around her is like
contrived.
This role of like the actress Meghan trying to play the character of this life, and it's not landing. Like, you're not right in that part.
No,
like,
well, this is it.
We shouldn't have cast you in this
exactly.
role. Like, that's the problem.
The Kardashians, and, Kim, bless her, these kind of great kind of bunkers that she lives in, they're actually designed now so that she can be filmed in them. They have the concealed lighting, and they have the this, and they have the that. It's all absolutely, because she is literally transparently, able to welcome the world in. This is the thing that I think is very interesting about what's possibly not going right for Meghan, is she's not getting this concept, as you absolutely say, that actually to make this work, it boils down to one word at the moment, which is authenticity. Which is reality.
Exactly.
The genre is reality. It has to be real.
You mentioned, so it always sticks with me with how she's abandoned and like left people. The thing also with the Kardashians is they keep their best friends from their childhood around and the teams that they've had. Whereas Meghan, she has discarded. I knew her former stylist, her former publicist, when all the Harry stuff was going on, one of her old friends. I know her ex-husband, and when I went to university. Most people don't have nice things to say about her, and most people don't stay around long enough. In the Kardashian brand, I've met all the girls. They're fun. They're lovely. And they're like that, original Hollywood girls that have kept their best friends from their teens and their teams that when they became successful, they all still work together.
And also they help each other, which is lovely.
And they support each other. And that's the thing. Meghan doesn't have that because she discards it. And that, again, goes with authenticity. Who are you and who are the people you surround yourself? Where are you from? And, like, what are you, I don't know. It just doesn't feel wholesome. Like the image that she wants to project.
That is exactly
You're
the
not
issue.
wholesome.
That is the problem, because wholesome is absolutely key to what she's trying to sell at the moment. This idea of ethics, this idea of support, of helping other women, of, reaching out. But in fact, what you're saying is that there will always be a very discordant chord here, because that is not the real Meghan. Kim, for all her kind of, as you say, Hollywood brashness and her obsessions with fashion and superficialities and Marilyn Monroe's dress and all of this kind of stuff, and perhaps slightly tone deaf about the way that people react to things, but it's still, she's her. She's her.
Yeah.
And also, she's her. And also what's good about the Kardashians in many ways is that they do a lot for charity, but they don't tell everybody. They don't want to wear this badge all the time and say, I'm altruistic, I'm helping women empowerment, I'm helping felons who might actually not be felons and helping them get out of prison. They just do it, and they really help. Whereas, unfortunately, with Meghan, when she was in the royal family, I thought she did the most brilliant thing with the cookbook for Grenfell. It was a fantastic thing. It felt authentic. She understood how somebody could make money and really support people, and it went under the radar for quite a while. And that went well. She also did the fashion collaboration with SmartWorks. Again, interesting, because she's using her kind of like commercial world, doing it right. Now, she's kind of stopped that altruism, but she wants you to think that she's the most philanthropic person ever. And when I knew her, she had a really big heart. She wanted to use her fame to make a difference. And it feels like that has become less authentic now as well, which is a real shame.
Is it down to this issue then of patience? Is it down to the fact that she is coming across as being very impatient, that actually all of these things that haven't quite worked might well have worked after 2, 3 or 4 years, but they're not working overnight? It's, I mean, the ultimate being the royal family.
Yeah.
That actually, her role in the round. Yeah.
Stick with it.
Absolutely. And you look at the way that...
She bounced too quick.
Yeah, well,
Bounced too
Catherine, you know, I mean, she's been through massive ups and downs with the press as well. I mean, the press have been very anti her, but she found her groove and she stuck to it and has been incredibly patient all the way through that.
So true.
Yeah, and I think it's the blame culture. I think what happened with this big storm, with obviously the Oprah interview, then the Netflix show, then obviously the Spare, it all became this storm of negativity that they were actually creating and perpetuating, and that's always going to hang. It's very destructive. So
Their
destructive. Their
narrative
was they
pulling
wanted
it
desperately,
down.
pulled everything down.
Yeah.
All the good things they did actually have come down to this, and now she's scattergunning because she actually doesn't know where she is, and that's why her credibility and her brand has been tarnished and will for the rest of her life, unfortunately.
But that's what going back to that wholesome thing of like what Gwyneth Paltrow does with Goop. You know, she divorced, you know, to Chris Martin, but still posts like Father's Day with him. It's showing like it's okay to be not a perfect unit, but whereas Meghan, everything is like so polished and perfect that is inauthentic, and that wholesomeness is not. We're not getting it. We're getting, you know, you're still a pain. You're still a diva. Nothing's good enough for you. Now you want to be a Hollywood actress. What do you want? You want to go to Paris Fashion Week and sit front row next to Anna Wintour. You want to be, you know, on the cover of Vogue, but then you want no one to talk to you. You want your privacy. You want to just cook in your kitchen, but it's really not your kitchen in Montecito. It's a rented kitchen. None of it's real. You don't want to show your kids. You don't want to really show your relationship. But it's like...
Everything contradicts each other.
It all contradicts.
And nothing feels authentic. So we're completely bamboozled by it and we don't trust it. And the whole point about being a Kardashian is actually, I trust that Kim Kardashian might fail, and I think she'll talk about it on her TV show, and she'll have a fight with her sister, and I trust they'll get back together again and they'll be like, right, you know what, I still got my best friends and we're going to put a party on. Whereas Meghan, I just don't trust
But in
anything.
a weird sort of way, there's a wholesomeness to that Kardashian sort of honesty that, you know, yes, I mean, you know, I won't go so far as to say it's trashy, but it's you know, it's so not the kind of old money that we are used to seeing from the royal family or from fame. And I think the old money thing is absolutely fascinating.
It's very, I'm used to seeing it. I'm on a reality show, so I'm
You see a lot of it. Yes, exactly.
I'm used to seeing the fights and the pulling of the hair. No, I'm just kidding. We don't pull hair.
No,
we don't pull hair.
we're good.
Not yet.
Yes.
But I think so. Let's just flip forward a little bit, because I mean, yes, we now have this next incarnation, which is to theoretically go back to acting. So go back to doing what she did right from the very beginning. Is that a reset? I mean, is that her thinking?
I don't really
maybe
think she's that great of an actress.
No, I don't
either.
think
So it's like, what?
Dang.
It's like, well,
I have to tell you, look, this is an anecdote. This is a true story.
Okay,
so
we're all ears.
she asked me to go and find her an agent when she was in the UK. She's like, Nick, I'm in my show. We've got 3 months off. I want to do what David Schwimmer does and be in a West End show. That's what she said to me. I want to do what the big stars do, and they're in it for 3 months. They pop in, they make paid really well. Yeah. So I took her to meet a agent who is very, very well known, and brought her to his office. And he turned around to her and said, have you heard of David Hasselhoff? He makes a lot of money doing pantomime, and I can see you being pantomime. You know, when a boy plays a girl and a girl plays a boy, you'd be great in pantomime. And it's only 3 weeks of your life. Yeah. And I'll never, ever forget it. And then about literally 2 years later, this same man went, do you remember that delightful young lady that came with you? And I was like, yeah, the one who wanted to be in a pantomime. Now she's really married to a prince. Yeah. So there you go. Like, I think that's really where she is. She's kind of in this pantomime world, and she's not a brilliant actress. She's okay, isn't she?
Well, speaking of that,
Oscar, you know, you're going to go back into acting, and you like what? Because you want to win an Oscar? That's probably like her hopes, you know. And it's like, or what? I don't know. And you know, let's not forget Harry in all of this. Like, she is so like tiger mom. So what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
well, she's so conspicuous, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment,
she's so alpha and leading this show. Where I think he's fine with that, right? Because he's like,
he wants to get on with his stuff.
He just wants to be. But it's like, I think she said to him, let's live a quiet life. Now this is hardly the quiet life. Being, taken to a Kardashian party, I don't think Harry's like, that's his idea of happiness.
But you see, I think Harry would quite like it and all the guard goes down, but she wouldn't let it happen.
That is why we haven't seen the photographs.
Exactly,
that
probably.
is exactly why we haven't seen the photographs. But of course, but Kim Kardashian is now
Harry
acting.
does like to party, yeah.
He does like to party. Kim Kardashian is now acting. I mean, is there a link there, do we think? Or actually, is our Kimabella so high that she probably doesn't even know what Meghan's up to?
Kim's now playing a super uber lawyer in All's Fair.
Isn't it funny?
Obviously, she was Rachel Zane in Suits, another lawyer.
Yeah.
This could be this weird parallel life. But you know what?
It's like Freaky Friday.
It is. They are. Like, it's like she's following in her footsteps, like wants to follow in her footsteps.
But what's great about Kim Kardashian is this show has been universally, I mean, it's brilliant, but it's been universally trashed. But Kim doesn't mind. She goes out on her Instagram, goes, the Rotten Tomatoes, 0%. Nobody likes my show, but it's number one on Disney.
Yeah.
Go and watch it. It's awful. She plays the game. She gets it. And that's what's so refreshing about
That's
her.
what went wrong. She should be in Panto.
Yes.
Because, oh my goodness me, Kim Kardashian in
Behind
Panto
you.
at the Wyvern in Swindon. Because she wouldn't mind. If she came on stage and everyone booed, she'd go, yay!
Exactly.
Yeah, come on, boo me, boo me, boo me, boo me. It is absolutely fascinating because I think to me, this idea of there being this sort of innate insecurity that is driving Meghan on every level. And what you were saying, Juliet, about this idea, she wants to show the royal family now. She wants to show the royal family that she can be, as big and as powerful. And of course, this is what's so extraordinary, is that we're now living in an era where for generations and generations and generations, in this country, the aristocracy, the royalty, they were the top. But actually, no, not anymore.
Celebrity
it's the Kardashians, it's the Beckhams, it's everybody else. So she's in this sort of strange half-lit twilight world anyway, which is a bit of one and a bit of the other. And she's sort of not really actually succeeding at either of them.
No, she's annoying people. I think, it's that's the thing. Meghan's become just annoying. And right?
I agree with you.
It's because it's like, it's not this. Now I'm on a TV show. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do the books and this. It's just like, just...
And that's the difference between
too much.
Her and Victoria Beckham. We've seen recently Victoria Beckham's documentary,
Lady B,
and it was really fun, authentic. It poked fun at herself, but also it showed you how hard she works.
Yes.
She's not telling us how hard she works like Meghan does, but she is working really hard, and there's jeopardy there, and we really believe it. And the same with David. I always say what's great about David and Victoria is they've got their own silos of business, and they're magic on their own, but when they come together, it's explosive. That's what Meghan should be doing with Harry, really thinking about their brand together and how that can come together.
Well, this is my last question, which was, there you go.
That's very interesting, though.
I bet you've still got her number somewhere.
I have got her number.
And her telephone. I want you to ring her up.
Okay.
No, tell us, what would you say to her now? What would you, if you were given the opportunity, she would listen, you sat her down, and you said, honestly, love, this is what you've got to do.
I actually think about this all the time because because we were really good friends and then, we weren't, like a lot of people were ghosted or that was it. But actually from that, I always think, I just want to help you and talk about authenticity. Who's a real Meghan Markle? Let's actually strip this all back, find out who it is, and then let's play this really long game. If you look at artists, musicians, they might look at Adele, for instance. It's 10 years between an album. There's a reason between that because people want you. They're demanding you, and you have expectation, and then you deliver something fabulous. We could do that with Meghan in a fantastic way, but would she listen to it? I doubt it.
What about you, Juliet?
She might listen to you, though.
Yeah, well, this is it. We've got to unleash Juliet. What would you say to her?
What a loss for, how she would have been so lucky to have you.
Exactly.
And I think...
One that got away.
Well, that's kind of making me sad. And when you just brought up, this is interesting about the Beckhams, is that a lot of people found them really annoying for a long time. And yet, somehow... they're like the coolest.
And they're royalty.
Their family, her brand's great, her makeup's fabulous. He's just so cool and happy in the countryside with his bees, yet he keeps launching businesses that keep making money.
I know, crazy.
And again, I keep going because family means a lot to me, is that they've had their family around them. They've had their friends that have been their friends since they were young.
Yeah.
And it's this authenticity and support of people believing in you and what you're building through the failures. And Victoria showed us how many she's had and how many things.
Patience.
And that vulnerability.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she said, now I sell an eyeliner every 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And she finally found something when she was really, nothing was working for her. And you know what? Yeah, they used to be really annoying. And now they're super cool. So likable.
Well, she herself is now. She started admitting,
fabulous.
she was in the documentary saying, "I can't believe I was having, hangers flown from, one side of the world to the other and furniture." Just like I would never do that now. And you go, "Oh my God, I really, really appreciate
Respect that. Respect that.
So you, I mean, can we pull her back? Can we pull her back?
My
Juliet?
advice to Meghan would be go fix your relationships and work on who you are and, more than your brands, like fix your soul, and go make amends, like an AA kind of thing, ring people up on the phone and tell people you're sorry. And then from there, I think build your, foundation on your truth and who you are. And maybe that authenticity will come through. I mean, she is so blessed. She has the opportunities that so many people dream of. And I think she's just utilizing them in the wrong way, trying to deliver a message so forcefully that we're all seeing through it.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be absolutely extraordinary if suddenly, from this programme, from your advice, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, suddenly did something absolutely extraordinary and did indeed become the next Kim Kardashian. Thank you both so much. That was incredible. I feel as if we've had a very, very much an inside track there. That's all we've got time for on this show. Thank you so much to my guests, Juliet Angus and Nick Ede, and to you for tuning in. Do keep the conversation going on our socials. Just search True Royalty TV. See you next time.